Chit. You guys are now listening to the Crime Pays podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Sanchez. I got my co-host with me, Young Glizzy. Yeah. What's going on, man? Shout out to all the new listeners. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Today we got a good show, man. We're going to be talking about Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah, new 100-mile-an-hour law in Miami-Dade County. Elon Musk starts new political party, the America Party. We got the big, beautiful bill passes. We got the Texas floods. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about that. In entertainment news, we got Diddy beats the case, 4 Extra blows his hand off, and the UFC at the White House. So, you know what I'm saying? Happy July 4th to everybody.
Happy July 4th.
Yeah, man. How was your July 4th, Glizzy?
It was good, dude. That was my anniversary. So I took my girl to this restaurant called A Love Story in Kendall.
Okay.
It's overpriced, my opinion, but my girl loved it. It's for ladies, less for men. So,
Cool.
you know, that worked out. Then we went and played Top Golf, which I've never done. Turns out I'm the Tiger Woods of Miami, dude.
Cuban Woods?
I'm Cuban Woods, bro.
Oh,
I'm pretty good, dude. I'm mid, bro, because there was one of the guys I saw that works there. They were testing it out. And, bro, he was hitting them shit so far, they almost went over the fence. I was like, yo.
Dude, I want to try it, but knowing me, I'll probably hurt my back or something.
Nah, bro. Yo, you know what it is? It's all in the hips, dude.
Yeah.
Like, at first I was swinging with my hands, but then I was doing it with my hips. And they have, like, some games that you could play. So it's like even the people that aren't good, they could still win based off of points. Like it's like Angry Birds, and you don't have to hit it that far.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
So basically, like it has like colors, right? And you got to try to get the ball in the red zone, in the blue zone, and in the green zone.
And
right?
yo, it tracks the ball. I don't understand how, but it tracks where the ball goes, dude. Cool. It knows. Cool. Not like if you miss, it's gonna tell you exactly where your ball landed.
Dope.
Yeah,
it's pretty
cool.
Were you hammered?
I was like lit. I wasn't hammered.
All right.
You know,
good times, man. I would like to go. I tried to go one time.
We should go next Tuesday.
Yeah, we should go next Tuesday for sure.
And we'll vlog it.
I tried to go one time, and they told me it was like a 45-minute wait. So I was like, all right. I went to the bar. The bartender was cool. I started drinking.
Bar's good.
Yeah,
they got a good bar
they
too.
Got a nice bar. And I started drinking. I got buzzed, and I went up when they called my thing. So I sat down in front of the driving range, and when I sat down, there was something impeding the back of my head. When I sat down, bang, I banged my head hard as hell. Gave me like a half a concussion. I was like, what the hell? I looked at the waitress. She was just staring at me. And I was like, looking at her, and I was like, hurt, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't say, are you okay? You know, anything. She just looked at me like I was stupid, which it was kind of stupid. But I got mad. I got upset because she didn't say, are you okay, or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going home, bro. I don't even want to play this shit no more.
I don't want to do it no more.
Yeah. I said, thank you. I'm leaving.
Yeah, you got book it on the app, bro, so you don't have to wait. Like when I walked in, I went right to my lane. My lane was right there in front of the door. It was awesome.
I know.
I had a great experience.
I messed up. I should have fell down on the floor and
sued. Yeah. That's what you should have.
Because I hit the back of my head, and what hit me in the head wasn't supposed to be there. But whatever, missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's because we got too much pride. That's our problem.
Yeah.
That's why we don't sue
July
people.
4th fell on a Friday night, which is good for most people. But I'd be booked on Friday nights. That's a big night for me. That's work night.
Yeah. I had to give up my shift in order to do it. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but it's the anniversary, dude.
Yeah,
like,
hopefully everybody kept their fingers and hands intact. Not everybody. Famous no jumper host 4 Extra, unfortunately, had an unfortunate accident playing with those M80s, bro. Those quarter stick of dynamites, bro. Blew his hand almost off completely.
Bro, weirdly enough, I know a lot of people that have done that, dude.
Yeah,
like I know like an unreasonable amount of people that have blown their hand off. Like you would think it's like common knowledge now to like, like when I light a firework, I run away, dude.
Yeah.
Like I light it and I and dip.
When I was growing up in New York City, it was big, bro. We used to go to Queens, and my dad's friends would spend a lot of money on fireworks, and they would blow it up. But they would never let us handle the big things, like those coconuts with the big ass wick that goes in the air and blows up, that has like a little like those big ones, like they wouldn't let us play with them. Like,
but now they have things so you don't even have to touch it, dude.
Yeah,
They have like little contraptions that you could like light a string and it'll go all the way to the firework and light it up for you, dude. Like,
yeah.
You don't need to be holding it in your hand
We just
no
used to have like the sparklers, and then the ones that you light on the floor and it sounds like a machine gun.
Yeah, those were fun.
They were like snakes or something. We used to have a lot of those and stuff.
I used to like the ones that my parents would give me that you would throw at each other.
Yeah, or it had like a long wood stick. You would light it and it would shoot up out of a 2-liter, or you could actually hold those in your hands and they would shoot up.
Yeah,
we had those. Man.
I ain't holding no firework in my hand.
There was some loose white boys in New York at the time that they would get their hands on those M80s and they used to blow mailboxes up like crazy. Like put it in a mailbox, blow that shit all the way to the sky, bro. Boom. And I knew a kid who was doing that like a lot, and he was going to the big blue mailboxes that were around the town, and he would blow up the whole mailbox to the point where the feds started investigating. And the FBI raided his house and took him to jail. He was like 13 years old.
You know probably why? Because of mail.
Yeah.
Because the mail, and like when you open up people's mail and then you're blowing up people's mail, like, you could fuck somebody's life up like that by blowing up their mail.
Of course. And back then there was no emails. We're talking in the 90s or the late 80s, you know?
Yeah.
So that was crazy. I remember he got hood famous for that. But yeah, man, I got those M80s I think 2 times in my life. I actually had them in hand. I blew them up in my backyard. They're powerful, but they're nothing to play with. Thank God that I didn't have an accident because I was a little kid. But I did blow some things up in my backyard.
When I was at school, there used to be this little sand dune, right? So we got a hold of one of the M80s one of my friends did, and there was a group of us, and we're skipping class. And there's like this little sand dune in the school parking lot where everybody's cars were. And my boy's like, yo, this is like a stick of dynamite. And I'm like, no, it's not, dude. That's a fucking little firework. And so we lit it up, and then he threw it in the sand dune. And, dude, when that shit went off, it blew the sand up, right? And then all the car alarms in the school parking lot went off. We're running back to class. And, dude, this was in Pinecrest. Pinecrest police pulled up and grabbed my boy and just shout out to him for not snitching on the rest of us because he wasn't the one that lit it. But, he took all the heat for it. But, yeah, dude, they're strong, bro.
Yeah, super, man. So
you feel it.
It's an unfortunate thing for 4Extra. He's on the rise as being a content creator.
I mean, he can still be a content creator without a hand.
He's trying to improve his life. And he actually got famous for talking about fades and fistfights that he would have in the county jail. And, and he would preach good things about, like, telling kids not to gangbang, telling kids to work out, stay off the streets.
Yeah, that's a positive message.
Don't drink, don't do drugs, because he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. So there was some speculation that maybe he was smoking and drinking, and he lit it, and the wick burned too fast and blew his hand off. But if you know 4Extra, he doesn't drink or smoke. So, it's an unfortunate accident. Also, he was, like, scheduled to fight Aaron the Plumber in a celebrity boxing match. That was going to be a good payday for him. So now with that injury, I don't know how that's going to work out as far as putting a boxing glove on the nub.
Yeah. Maybe he could put a boxing glove on the nub, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, that sucks. And it's his right hand too, and he's a righty.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's the worst.
That's going to mess him up. So, shout out and prayers to him and his family. There's a GoFundMe out. If you guys know who 4Extra is, you could just Google it. 4Extra GoFundMe if you want to send him a couple dollars. He's got medical bills and stuff like that. But, all right, let's move on, man. Let's move on to some political topics, bro. We got Alligator Alcatraz opens up in the Everglades, dude. You know what I mean? The left's going crazy about it. They kind of threw it up fast. It's a detention center they built in a couple months that's going to house migrants before they get shipped out. And, yeah, bro, it's surrounded by gators, bro, little swamp puppies there to try to escape.
I saw them moving gators for it.
Really?
Yeah, I saw a video. Yo, I don't know if it's facts, dude, because, everybody lies on social media. But, like, I saw a video of them picking gators and then moving them over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't know if it's facts, but
I know they're hiring. They're hiring for that shit. You know what I mean? It's they're paying $3,000 a week.
Yeah, they might hire gators, dude.
But
$3,000 a week is nice. Is nice bread, bro.
Yeah, that's good money. You know what I'm saying? But there's a thing. It's a temporary position, and you already have to be a licensed. You have to be a licensed correctional officer. So that that kind of eliminates a lot of people, because if you are a licensed correctional officer, more than likely you already have a job. as a correctional officer. So you can't go and work there. You know what I mean? Or if you're retired, that would be a good gig for you. But you have to sleep at the detention center, and they give you food. You know what I mean? So
I know a buddy that's working there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he just got the job.
Nice.
He's excited about it. He said he wants to see what's going on over there.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to make $3K a week right now. That would be sweet.
$3K a week. You see what's going on for real. You don't got to pay attention to the propaganda because you're there. That's pretty fire, dude. Answers a lot of questions too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on.
At first I was mad, right, about the Alligator Alcatraz because my impression of it, because the way the media spinned it, it's like they built that shit there, right? Yeah. So I was mad because I am not like a geo activist or, I'm not like no littering, right? But dude, I care about the Everglades, and I don't want people fucking up the Everglades. But they put it on an airstrip.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like the majority of like Florida is Everglades. I wouldn't say the majority, but a big part of it is just swamp.
Yeah, I don't mind you build a road through there, but dude, I don't want I'm not trying to have high rises all over the Everglades. The Everglades is the only thing like that, dude, and it makes Florida special, dude. Yeah. I'm a real Floridian.
My man's a real Florida man.
Yeah, and I like it, and I didn't enjoy the Everglades enough to let it disappear yet.
Got you. All right, so there's a new law in Florida as a whole. So if you get caught doing 50 miles an hour over the speed limit, you get 30 days in jail. So if you're doing 35 miles, if you're in a 35 mile an hour zone and you're doing 85, 30 days jail, dude.
Dude, that is trash.
If you get caught doing 100 miles an hour, it doesn't matter if the speed limit is 75. If you get caught doing 100 miles an hour, jail, 30 days, and a $500 fine. That is crazy because, that's going to affect Miami a lot. Miami's the home of the rented Lamborghinis and the Corvette, you know what I mean? And performance cars. We got a performance culture out here. I understand it because, people abuse. You know what I mean? There was a bad car accident, I believe, somewhere in North Miami Beach where a guy was doing 85 in a 35, lost control of his car, killed a pedestrian, unalived a pedestrian, my bad. And, yeah, man. So, that was a tragedy. And now there's like a new trend on social media where the young kids are putting like GoPros and 360 cameras on their car, and they're swerving in and out of traffic dangerously at high speeds, and sometimes they crash and people die. You know what I mean? So, a small percentage messes it up for
the rest of us
who, I personally...
I mean, it's always been illegal to do 100 miles per hour, though.
Of course, but it wasn't 30 days in jail.
Yeah, that sucks.
30 days in jail will flip your life upside down, depending on who you are.
Yeah, I think it's a little too extreme.
Yeah. And the Dade County Jail is a nasty, nasty, nasty place. So you don't want to be in there for speeding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's say you just cop a new Corvette. You get on the turnpike. It's 1 a.m. There's nobody out there. You want to let it rip. Do 105, 30 days in jail. 30 days in jail, you're probably going to lose your job.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Most jobs are not going to hold your job for 30 days. They're going to replace you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not super happy about it.
I'm not either.
I'm glad I have a pickup truck now.
Yeah,
I sold the Dodge Charger 392 that I had. I got some good money for it, so I'm no longer doing that, man.
Well, you know what? I've never driven fast, and I've always had like fast little cars, Nissan 350Z, Lexus IS 300, souped up, but I've never driven fast. Like I think I've went 80, and I'm just happy to feel 80. Like 100, car starts shaking, shit gets scary.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah, but. Yeah, that's the new law of the land. You guys be wary out there, bro. Don't get caught up doing that dumb shit. Bad place to be for 30 days.
Yeah.
Put you in a financial bind, too. All right, Elon Musk starts a new political party, the America Party, bro.
Dude.
I think in theory it's a good thing, right? Because if you look at it from the outside in, the Republicans and the Democrats are two wings of the same bird, right? They spit. The right spits propaganda, the left spits propaganda. You get to pick a side, but at the end of the day, you kind of have the same circle of BS, right? Whatever the Republicans want to do, the Democrats shut it down. Whatever the Democrats want to do, the Republicans shut it down. And every once in a while, there's a win where something gets passed that betters life a little bit. You know what I mean? But what Elon was trying to do is to bring a whole new political party, which sounds good in theory, but I just don't trust Elon Musk. You know what I mean? I think he has I don't mean to cut you off, but I think he has an anti-human agenda. I think he wants everything to be automated in AI. You know what I mean?
Damn, I don't think all that about him,
do.
bro.
You know, I do. His Tesla semi-trucks is going to put all of our trucking guys out of business. His Tesla Ubers are going to put all our Uber drivers out of business. You know what I'm saying?
But that's innovation, brother. Like, you know,
I get it. It's
like,
innovation.
Shit
but
needs to happen.
If he's pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing for that, that's the future that he wants.
Yeah, that's the future I want.
I don't. You know, not everybody's going to be a doctor, lawyer, and a surgeon.
I know, bro, but
we still need a working class America. We still need a middle class.
Yeah, but either way, like, you know, it's just gonna create new jobs. Like, I'm down for it, right? Now, the only problem I have with Elon Musk is, one, he's not American at the end of the day. So his political party, he's gonna be the leader. Nothing against him, but I'm gonna have someone from another country, non-American, be the leader of a political party. Know what I mean? Not really the go-to. Like, if there's going to be a new political party movement, I would like the person that started that political party to run for presidency. Because if not, the person that started the political party is going to run the president, and that's not who I'm going to vote for. Yeah. You know? And another thing is, I like the idea, bro. It happened back in the past. You know, there used to be the Whigs and the Democrats, and then the Whigs turned into the Republicans. So, I don't know. I'm not mad of the idea, but I don't like the person in charge of the idea. Same as you. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm down for AI everything, dude. It's gonna body us anyways.
That's
Might as well enjoy it.
At the end of the world, it's gonna be AI versus humanity, dude. So yeah. I'm not really on the whole AI side.
I'm with it.
All right.
I'm down, dude.
The big, beautiful bill passed.
AI is gonna body you first because you said that, dude. They're gonna save me, dude.
Yeah. What was I going to tell you?
The big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, the big, beautiful bill passed. I think that's going to be the highlight of Trump's presidency. I'm glad he was able to, you know, it's a big win for Trump. I think it's a big win for the country. You know, it's not all peaches and cream.
It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, there's good and bad things out of it. You know what I mean? The cutting of food stamps and Medicare and stuff like that, that's terrible because the people who use those services really need it. But you know, it is a help to the middle class as far as the no tax on tips and the no tax on overtime, and I believe also no tax on the Social Security, which a lot of Americans depend on that. The elderly depend on that and stuff. So, yeah, for the gun people, the silencers and the short-barreled rifles got reversed. So basically, you still have to get permission to have one. That you're still going to have a whole bunch of restrictions on it. You know, if you get like a silencer for your AR, you can't leave Florida with it. You know, you have to have your paperwork on you if you have it, if you take it to the range. It's not allowed to leave your house and be in somebody else's house. You know, it's just like a lot of BS around that. So that was kind of a half win.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's
what's crazy is you paid a lot of money to get it, like, and waited the whole year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now look, now you could just go and get it.
You still got to do it.
You still got to do it?
You just don't pay the $200 tax stamp, but you still have to get the stamp. It's not $200, but you still have to wait the time, and you have to
dude,
you have to go through the motions, and you still have all the restrictions.
I think the only one I would truly do for weapons is what is it called? What's the one that gives you automatic? Like, you're allowed to have automatic, but you're able to search your house whenever they want?
Yeah, that's the same. It's the same thing.
Same thing?
Yeah.
You can have automatics?
You have to go through the same thing that you
would the same process?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, of course, an automatic AR is like $25,000.
Yeah, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, all right, moving on. We had the Texas floods in central Texas, bro. A lot of rain fell, bro. There was like 82 people unalived.
15 inches of rain.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
That's a lot of rain.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do a moment of silence for the victims. All right. Prayers go out to the families. It's a terrible tragedy in the country. It sucks. But you can't escape Mother Nature, man. Everywhere you go is a problem. You know what I mean? If you're in Miami, we got crazy hurricanes. You move to the West Coast, you can go to California, you got crazy wildfires. You go to the East Coast, you got blizzards and Democrats. Bro, you're never safe, bro.
Yeah. And, you know, I see a lot of Democrats blaming Trump for this. Dude, Trump doesn't control the weather, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's not his fault, dude. What was it? Yeah, dude. That's a ridiculous statement. Yeah. Or they're saying that Trump was going to blame Biden. Dude, politicians can't control weather.
Yeah, that's facts.
So that's regardless of the point. But RIP to all the losses that was caused in Texas.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Entertainment news. Diddy beats the case, dude. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Diddy. I called it. I knew that the RICO charge wasn't going to stick. I think the government made a bad decision charging him with the RICO. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's the only person I've ever seen in a RICO by himself.
That's another fact, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. But, I think if they just would have gone with a domestic violence charge and
I mean, he's guilty. He's just not guilty of what they were charging him for.
And soliciting prostitution.
Yeah, he would have got
I think they would have got convictions on that, but those two things they're not big time. They're not, life in prison.
I thought he was going to get a drug charge.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be able to do that too. I don't know what happened there. I know his team of lawyers was like the dream team. He paid millions and millions of dollars. They did a great job defending him. I thought the case was rushed. I thought they should have gave it some more time.
Yeah.
But, he got not guilty on the sex trafficking. He got guilty on the Mann Act, which is transporting Cassie for prostitution.
And transporting
Yeah,
Jane.
but he didn't get caught. He didn't get guilty for sex trafficking her, but he got guilty for transporting her. That's weird. Same thing with 50 Cent's baby mama, Jane Doe. Same thing. He didn't get guilty for trafficking her, but he got found guilty for transporting her, which is weird. I thought transporting somebody for sex is sex trafficking, but what do I know? I think his lawyers are going to be able to beat that on appeal.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
And also to all of you guys that looked at us and told us we are idiots because we said Diddy was going to be found not guilty. Look at you now, dude.
Yeah.
Who's the idiot now, bro? We're right. We're right.
For sure,
You guys should listen to us more.
We got a lot of comments saying, bro, these idiots are saying Diddy's going to beat the case. Diddy's cooked. He's not going to win. This and that. Bro, if you looked at the facts and the charges, it was really the charges. Nobody's disputing that the freak-offs didn't happen. Nobody's saying that he didn't beat her up.
Yeah, for sure he did all that.
It was just, they just charged him wrong. If they would have charged him right, they would have got more convictions, but they wouldn't have been 25 years in jail. He would have skated out of there with a domestic violence charge and a soliciting prostitution charge.
Yeah.
But they wanted to really drag his name in the mud. I think it was get back for the lawsuits he put against those liquor companies. That's just my opinion.
Allegedly.
But now he's free, and now I guess he really knows who his friends are, because a lot of people turned their backs on him when they thought he was finished. So now he's going to get back out there, and hopefully he gets some help. Some therapy.
Yeah, he needs help
for mental health. Some therapy for beating those alleged substances that he was hooked on, and that's it, man. He lives to fight another day.
Yeah, sadly.
You know what I mean? All right, moving on. UFC at the White House, bro. That sounds
Fire.
like it's going to be dope. That sounds like it's going to be a good event.
Banger.
You know what I mean? It's going to be fun. I wish I could go. I know the tickets are going to be probably like $5,000, $6,000 a ticket. You know what I mean?
Hopefully
the
we're
White
not
House
working.
lawn, I don't know how big that is.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people it's going to be able to hold. The parking situation, hotel situation is going to be crazy. But John Jones said he's coming out of retirement to fight on the card.
That's fire.
He's not going to fight John Aspinall. I don't think so.
It's a legendary.
Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Because he relinquished the heavyweight title. So now he could fight probably somebody who's not as dangerous but still has a big name. You know what I mean?
Welterweight?
No, he's going to light heavy, 205.
Light heavy.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Or maybe he goes for the big payday and he fights somebody like Francis Ngannou at heavyweight, which is not as well-rounded as Tom Aspinall.
John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time.
Yeah, not as young. You know what I mean? Conor McGregor is also hinting that he wants to come back and fight on the card. I don't know if that's just hype or he's serious. I know he's a party animal lately. I don't know if he's going to be able to get himself back in shape and do that. I think he said he wants to fight Michael Chandler.
Whatever happened with him trying to run for president of Ireland?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't Ireland.
Yeah, it was Ireland.
It was Ireland?
Yeah. I think once he announced it, then he started he got some cases,
And then he was like, yeah.
Yeah, the political system started working against him.
He's like, I give up.
You run for president, and out of nowhere, these girls from 20 years ago start saying you did atrocious things to them and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I think he should just stay in his lane. I understand he's a patriot for Ireland and stuff like that, and he wants to see his country better. But some things you should just stay out of. Because
sometimes you could just
ruin your
back
life.
up. You could just back up the right man, and that will do it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited about that, bro.
I am too, dude. It's going to be nice. At least we're going to be able to watch it on TV. We're not going to be able to go because we're too poor, but it's going to be nice to watch it on TV, and it's going to be a historic event.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
The United States turned 250 years old.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, that's the show, man. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Crime Pace Podcast. We're out. God bless y'all. Good night.
Peace. Bow.